Oh, you're muted. Hold on.
Hey, hey,
Hey, good morning.
how are
Good.
you? Great.
Me too. Good to see you. Happy Monday.
Yes. Yes, happy Monday. Are you off to a good start?
I hope so. I
Yeah,
hope
I know
so.
it.
That's the
And
best I got right
because
now.
you work out of your right? You work out of your home, right?
I do. Yep. Most of the
Like you're at your
time.
home. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think one of my biggest struggles, especially on Monday, is I have all this stuff around the house I want to get done. But I know that productive wise, like I do better if I focus on content and that kind of thing in the mornings, when I'm thinking clearly and all that, and do all the other house stuff later. But so many times I'm just like, oh no, but the floors need cleaned and this needs to. Oh my gosh. Do you ever struggle with that?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I don't know how you can work out of your house and not struggle in those
Yeah,
areas, especially if,
right.
I mean, I find it worse if I look ahead in the week and I have people coming over.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the
Yeah.
goal the goal is full-time house cleaner.
I'm same, same. That
I
is
mean,
so the
can
goal.
I
And how
please spend my
awesome would that
time
be?
where I in my zone of genius? It's not taking care of the house
Yes,
anymore.
right. That is so the goal here too. Yes. Yeah.
Cool, cool. Well, I obviously I do have this recording so that I can save it for us and we can reference it back because
Yeah.
I feel like we're going to really hit some quality points that we're going to want to make
Yes.
sure that we don't forget. So,
I think that's
I
great.
do have it
Yeah.
in record.
Great.
So I'll try to like post it and give you access to it. Um
Excellent.
So my thought process is we both want to put out a workshop again,
Yes.
and launch a program or, just open a sign up window or something like that to gain more
Yes.
leads. Number one, but for me, I know I need to like bring coaching clients in. So
Yes. Same.
I have done a live a whole live program before, and I called it a beta program. And for the purpose, for, well, let's just say for the type of training that it was, it didn't work to do it that way.
Sure.
So
Okay.
I've definitely been struggling with launching again because I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, well, that didn't work. Like I didn't do it the right way, right? The approach wasn't right. What I really
And
needed to
why
do,
wasn't the approach right? Like
because
what why do you think?
I was doing web design training. I was training on web design and I was doing hour to 2 hour sessions live,
Yeah.
and I was walking
Gotcha.
them through how to
Yeah.
do stuff. It wasn't small enough to consume, right? It wasn't broken down into bite-sized
Yes.
pieces. Because I was wanting to
Totally.
do
Totally.
live Zoom trainings like Melissa does. Um,
Yes.
but for that type of training, it was not, it really could needed to be done in small bite-sized pieces that were pre-recorded for
Right. Right.
that type of content because it's technical
Yes.
training, you know.
Mhm.
So I think it's important for me to recognize that moving forward because there will be some technical training in my program, but not all of it is. And so now
Right.
I do have faith after being in Melissa's workshop and stuff that, okay, you can do live trainings and it can be really valuable. But I have some takeaways. So I'm curious to find out from
Yes.
you what your experience is. And then
Yes.
I think it would behoove us to introduce our programs to each other and talk
Sure.
about what we want to include. And then if we have time today, talk about our launch schedule and content plan. I don't know how
Yeah.
much we'll get through today, but like
No, that
obviously the
sounds great.
introduction is going to be really important.
How just a quick interruption.
Yeah,
Do you have an accountability partner, and are you working with them in the program? Because I am, but we're not the same, kinda like you and I are more the same.
same.
Okay.
I have a man
This'll be
who
good
is
then
in
because
like,
oh,
um, I don't know. I'll find out later today. We have a call booked later
yeah,
today, as a
cool.
matter of fact. So I'll find out. He's in
Yeah,
some sort of, gosh, I don't even remember. It's like,
yeah,
my husband's a landscaper. So at first I was like, okay, well, maybe it has to do with something similar because it's environmental something,
yeah, okay.
but it's not. And so the other thing I told him, I was like, so I don't know what you do. Maybe someone who's looking for you does, but for someone who's not looking for you, but might know or might also need to like pass certain, um, I think they have to pass like not, I don't know. It doesn't really matter. I don't want to waste our time with what he does. But,
Yeah,
my
no, that
goal is I'm
exactly.
like, I
But
can
I
help
just
you
think
from the outside looking in saying, well, your profile
yes.
doesn't tell me what you do. I don't understand it.
Yeah,
So you got to be more clear from that
right.
aspect, but same. So I think this would be helpful because we are
Yeah,
so much more similar. And that
I
would have been
agree.
helpful
I
for
yes.
accountability purposes, but it's okay. The other
Yeah,
stuff won't hurt,
yeah,
It's good
right.
opportunity to coach someone else and get
Yes.
coached maybe.
Right. No, I'm just so glad you reached out about it because honestly, too, the other thing was, Tiffany, like I had kind of forgot that I wanted to do a workshop or like I just wasn't in that mode right now. And when you said that, it just like kind of sparked that interest in me that was like, oh my gosh, this is something that I probably need to do. So, anyways, I'm so glad
Well,
you reached
how
out. Okay.
big is your email list?
Well, right now, okay, so I had an awesome one. So, okay, have you ever heard of Healthpreneur?
Mm-mm.
Yuri Elkheim. Anyways, he had me like I did this program with an email list. Right now, my email list is virtually, I mean, I just post on pretty much all platforms of social media and I'm getting clients, like I'm getting somewhat consistent, but not near what I want to. Like I have, a group of 140 in my coaching class that we constantly, like past and current clients. And but right, those kind of things like I need to work on. So even my active campaign, do you use active campaign
I use
for your email?
Aweber, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Anyways, like I've quit that. I mean, I'm just like when I quit Healthpreneur because I was doing Facebook ads, paid Facebook ads, and I was like throwing so much money into it that it gave me so much anxiety. And so then I was like, when I heard this Melissa thing and the LinkedIn, I'm like, if I don't have to do paid Facebook ads anymore, then I am going to be so on board with this. So that's kind of why I switched, but I need to get back into that whole, okay, webinar, into email list, into, book a call with me type of, strategy for sure.
Yeah. Um, so I feel like totally capable of doing it. I'm techie, I have all that, but then
Awesome.
I haven't
Yes.
actually managed my own all the way through except for that once, and my numbers were really low. I
Right.
didn't have much of an email list.
Yeah.
My email list is, I feel like, built out of personal contacts who
Yes.
have followed my blog through the years and want my Christmas letter and, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And so they don't
Yeah.
unsubscribe. It's growing.
Right.
I started a community for women.
Hmm.
So it's over 100. I mean, like it's
Nice.
probably near 150, something like that. And so I
Yeah.
have them on my list because I make everybody that opts in to that group subscribe.
Yes.
Like that's part of
Nice.
the agreement,
Yes.
But I don't have any other, I have I have multiple freebies out there, but I don't pay
Yeah.
for traffic to my website either. So the leads, well, for my design work, I had an abundance, like sometimes more than what I could take on. I had to turn some
Sure.
work down because I could, there's only so many
Yeah.
hours in the day. This is
Right.
different, which is the purpose. So
Right.
now that email list
Right.
and those numbers is really important. So,
Yes, absolutely. No, that makes total sense. Um, what do you just curious, so, like, what do you use, like, ClickFunnels? Or what is your funnel? What do you use for, like, your funnel?
no, so I'm a Wix partner and
Okay.
the majority of all the work that I do is through the Wix platform because I'm very budget conscious for my clients.
Yes.
And most of the clientele that I've worked with through the years have all wanted to manage their own website after it's designed and delivered, and they want to manage it on their own at a low cost, right?
Yeah.
And Wix provides that. It's very user friendly and it meets all the needs. Like I can even host my course there. I don't know how much I'm going to love it, but I think I've decided to give it a shot because
Yeah.
I
That's
love
good
the
to know.
all-in-one platform idea.
Yes. Well,
But I've
that's
also done a ton of work with Kajabi and Squarespace and Shopify and
yeah.
even
Well,
GoDaddy.
I was
But
right, I was using ClickFunnels,
I'm
as that, but
familiar, by the way. I've been
they
through
are
their first funnel
they're
challenge.
expensive.
They're
Yeah.
very expensive.
And so I'd love to get out of that. I'd love to have and it's funny, my website is on Wix, you know, and so
Uh-huh.
that's good to know. Anyways, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay,
Because you can build a funnel. Now,
yeah,
here I will say this. Part of what ClickFunnels offers is your it's not just a landing page, but it's the upsell and the downsell. So I can technically do all those things in Wix. It's not an easy process. It's not like they don't
right,
have those processes necessarily set up the same way ClickFunnels does. Um,
right.
I use Dubsado for my CRM. And so basically they're the two platforms that I'm tying together to make sales happen.
Cool.
So
Very cool.
yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Okay, so
Well,
you're in
I'd love to
ClickFunnels,
hear
but with a
yes.
website on Wix.
Right, right,
Okay.
exactly, but I don't know, I feel like sometimes I feel like my website I don't know how much, like, traffic it gets, I don't really pay attention like I should, but, I feel like most of what I'm getting is through social media posting, you know?
Hmm. Okay. So
Yeah, and people
really
booking
all you
wanting to book a
need
call with
is
me,
like
but I
that
need
book a call page, and then you need a place to host your program. Or where are
right,
you hosting
ex
your program?
I have that on ClickFunnels as
You
well,
do.
but I could
Okay.
easily, you know, move it or whatever, yeah. My program
Well,
is fully
also, can I
go
ask
ahead.
you what you're paying for ClickFunnels? What's your monthly rate?
Oh, it's like 1,000 a year. It's really
Oh, okay.
expensive. Yeah,
Well, and that's not terrible
yeah,
if you were to utilize it for
okay.
everything. Like
Well
if you moved your website over there and your
uh-huh.
email list, because ClickFunnels has an email list. Like, but you
So
said
I
you're
wonder
using
why they
Active
had me doing
Campaign?
yeah, I wonder why they had me doing both. Yeah, anyways. But I wonder if that's because it's more than 1,000 a year. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, they do
I
have different levels, but yeah, for sure. Now, so for my website, I mean, website hosting on Wix, which again, right now is like that and Dubsado are my only two overhead fees for this stuff. Oh, and Aweber, my email campaign list. I could use Wix's, but I already was using Aweber before Wix, I think. And
sure,
I don't
sure.
love, but I don't hate the Wix email marketing. It's
Gotcha.
just it's almost too design oriented versus like I don't know. I don't know. Email marketing honestly isn't my thing. I need to
Yeah,
outsource that.
sure, sure.
I need somebody to do that and my social media and my content
Yeah.
planning. That's the part that all that stresses me out.
Right,
So that would be one
right.
of the first type VAs I would ever bring on, probably. But my
Mhm.
Dubsado, putting a CRM in place did feel like hiring a VA.
Okay, so tell me what that means. I'm not even really familiar with that.
A CRM is a client relationship manager, and
Okay.
it's where once you convert, someone to a paid client, right? Or they've a paid customer. If you have something for sale, it hosts your email, like your whole workflow. So it processes your payments and
Sure.
invoices, right? It does all that. It has proposals, contracts, so that you can put your contract,
Cool.
everything's automated. So like if I were to send you a proposal, you would get that, but by making your choices on your proposal, you would click next, automatically get your invoice and pay it right then. No, I'm sorry. It would then go to your
Gotcha.
contract. You'd agree to the contract and then you'd get your first invoice, and then it would be done. And then you'd go through my workflow, and like I wouldn't have to touch it at all until I have something physical to do, because
So
I've
it's
set everything up in
basically
a workflow and an automation.
so it's an automated like onboarding.
Onboarding, offboarding,
Cool.
anything that you
Very
want
cool.
it to be. But that's it,
Yeah,
just
that's cool.
manages those clients who you're doing business with, who are there's a
Yeah.
transfer of money, you know. So
Yeah,
I
that's
could
very
use
cool.
it
Yeah.
as email marketing, but then my marketing campaigns would just be a mess. Like I don't want you don't want just
Yes.
subscribers put in your CRM. So yeah,
Right,
it felt
right.
like it also has my calendar in it. So the
Sure.
book a call, the schedulers, like Calendly,
Yeah,
that's all included in my
right.
Dubsado, which is nice. So I'm not paying
Cool.
additional fees. So really, again, Wix,
Yeah.
Aweber. So I keep my costs really low by using those, because I think I pay less than 350. I'm grandfathered in on a Dubsado early rate because I was
Nice.
an early comer on that platform. So I think I
Yeah,
pay
that's
less than
super cool.
350 for the year for that. I know I pay, well, I
Yeah.
just renewed my Wix um, hosting for 2 years, and that was less than 250 for 2 years. So that's
Okay.
about 125 for the year. And then
Yeah.
Aweber's $19 a month. So my
Nice.
overhead
Nice.
I keep very low. And,
Yeah.
so I was looking at ClickFunnels, or I had rolled out Teachable, but I was looking at Thinkific for hosting my
Uh-huh.
program. But then I found that it's just an app that I have to add into my Wix website that hosts the other. I think I'll have to make it work the way I want it to work. I'll probably have to make some like tweaks to it, but as a designer, like I know how to do
Sure.
all that stuff. So it won't be that big of a deal.
Yeah.
But I'm curious to
Yeah.
play with it
Very cool.
just as it is, so that I can also know
Yeah.
what it's all about for other users, right? And potential clients. So
Right.
there's that.
Totally. That is so cool. Yeah. Hold
Awesome.
on, I
Well,
about
why don't
lost
you
you
tell
there. Are you
me
still
about
there?
your program,
Yeah.
when you would like to launch your workshop that would open up the doors for it, like, or just what you think your structure is going to look like, and then
You
maybe
bet.
what you're going to include in it, because I think that I would like to bounce those ideas off of you. So, but really whatever you
Like,
want the feedback
including
for. Yeah. So you don't necessarily
Yep,
have to give me everything.
absolutely.
I would give you if you want different feedback.
Yeah. So, okay, so what I do is I help women who basically are struggling with gut health, and Christian women, of course,
Mhm.
but they don't know it a lot of times. Like they don't necessarily know that the gut is the root of their problem. So they're super fatigued. They're maybe not thinking as clearly as they once did. They're even maybe there's these feelings of like unmotivation, like they don't have that motivation that they once had.
Mhm.
They're maybe struggling with moods at work and at home, just even having impatience with their children, their spouse, that kind of thing. And so what the program what I would like to see is right, me using social media, basically giving them opportunity to have a free master class. Because what I would love, Tiffany, and what I had with that healthpreneur program was, it was like so much was working in the background with when I didn't even know it. Like, people were watching my masterclass late at night without me even knowing it. I mean, because like it
Okay.
just didn't require me to. So I thought about doing like a live workshop before, but I kind of liked the idea of the master class because it was like it was on their own time and it was working when I was enjoying my family, right?
Yeah.
And so I really liked that aspect of it. Doing live workshops is something that I would possibly love to do as well, but I think I want to start more masterclass first, right? But then right, being the call to action being booking a call. So on my book a call, like right now I use OneTub. Again, that was a healthpreneur that told me to use that. I don't know. I see
Okay.
everyone like on LinkedIn is using Calendly, and I think that I don't know that they
Well,
cost
maybe
about the
because
same.
you get one free calendar. So if you don't
Oh,
need more than one book a call calendar, that's why.
right. Yes, got you. Well, I do use it also for my coaching clients to be able to book a call with me as well. So I do have two calendars actually.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah, so what the hope is that because this is my I would say my superpower in my business is when people book a call with me, like 80% of the time they sign up for my program. So if I can
Okay.
get people to that book a call, I feel like then then they sign up for me because I feel like
Hmm.
I'm good at that point. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just getting people to book the call. Yeah.
Okay.
So then what happens is so what the program ends up being is you get a module program where you basically sign up for it's a 12-week program and there's 3 modules. Okay, so in those modules you'll watch videos, have there's documents. I basically tell them to print out a 3-ring binder. It's a lot like Melissa's program in that they kind of set up like a or I set up like a guideline, but I always tell them, like, if you don't get it done in the 12 weeks, like I'm still going to be here for you. So then we do one-on-one coaching once a week via a 15-minute phone call. And so that's when they're able to answer, ask me questions. We go through a lot of mindset training, that kind of thing. And then they also get email and text correspondence with me throughout the program. Of course, I do tell them, like, and that hasn't overwhelmed me yet. I'm afraid that maybe at some point it might, if I get as busy as I want to be. But
Hmm.
at this point, I'm not overwhelmed with that. And I do tell them I will not, answer your text or email until the next business day, especially, if it's in the evenings. But yeah, that's basically, I give them meal plans. But all the time then I also have it's a very customized program. So when they start with me, they fill out an online health questionnaire and symptom questionnaire so that I am able to customize it specifically to them. So I always tell people, like, no two people do the same thing in my program. Yes, you're following the modules, but on our coaching calls, like, I may like see that, oh my gosh, Tiffanie has a B12 deficiency according to these labs and or whatever,
Hmm.
and recommend that you start taking B12. I mean, that's just a simple example, but
Sure.
those are little things that I add. So yeah, I would
Okay.
say my biggest, like, I want people to book a call with me. That and how I do that,
How
I
are
don't
you
know.
going to get
Yeah.
that? You don't know. Okay. Have you watched
Yeah.
the module or the training on video in Melissa's program?
I don't know if I have.
So there
It's called
is
on vid.
one. Yeah, let me see. Let me look real quick. I think I have
Okay.
the training up. It's called so it's under your LinkedIn profile section and it's the last one and it says on camera training with Sarah Davenport.
Ooh, cool.
Okay. And the
Okay.
reason I bring it up is because she tells you, and to me, it wasn't clear until closer to the end of the training, like what she
Okay.
was really teaching. Um, but she teaches you how to create. a 60 to 120-second video. She said no longer than 2 minutes. What 5 points to hit. And it's a video that you would place on your book a call page. And so basically you change the dialogue a little bit when you're asking people to book a call, and it's really useful for the DMs, right? Because you're not necessarily like they're like, no, you're not just sending people this video.
Right.
You're creating a relationship, then you're having that dialogue, and then you're saying, hey, if I send you a 60-second video, will you watch it and let me know what you think?
Yeah.
Okay. And so then, but at the bottom of the video underneath it is the book a call.
Gotcha.
And so anyway, that might be really helpful for you.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Maybe that would help with your conversions.
Right.
Yeah. And then I think, I don't know if this is helpful because I can't say what your content is, but obviously I think the rest of it, especially depending on you wanting to do it organically, is that your content's got to be strategic, because I know that's what I feel like I have to do.
Yes.
And I'm in that content planning phase. And then now that I want to launch a workshop, it's going to be a good practice, because it's going to be like, okay, well, how can everything tie back to this, even when it's not selling? It's education, right?
Yes.
And then also make me get on camera more.
Right.
Maybe go live, maybe do an audio event, something like that, and try those different avenues to make sure that I am attracting and giving everybody who wants it, consumes content differently, an opportunity to consume it.
Yes.
But if we don't ask for the sale, in your case, what you're asking for is the book a call, right? So you're not even asking for an exchange of money, but if you're not asking for that 20% of the time, people don't even know what you're selling.
Right.
And the other thing, I don't know if you post your prices or talk about your program prices or not, or if you're like super secret about it until they get on a call with you. But I feel like people want transparency. And so they want to know, so I post my prices on my website. I haven't for my coaching program because I'm just getting started, and I'm like, I want the flexibility of feeling people out. But in my head, I want to build a gold and silver package, so that based off the conversation, based off whether they tell me they have a budget, I could potentially still book someone who might not book my big package, but might book the lesser package.
Right.
So I've kind of got that separated out as to what I would include, and I mean, it might be like just $1,000 less, or maybe it would be like half. I mean, where they realize that they're getting so much value literally from the other. So anyway, when we break mine down, I can kind of tell you what I was thinking about for that. But
I don't tell them the price until the end of the call, basically. Yeah.
I just feel like people I know when I'm shopping, I don't want to make a decision under that pressure. So if I have no idea what your program cost is, then I'm booking a call to find out, but I'm not going to make a decision on the call.
Right. Yeah.
So if you could consider like either posting on your site or talking about it some in your program, and you could talk about it like this. You could say, what would it cost you if in 1 year from now you're still in the same place? I thought, I just got a notice that our time, we only have 10 minutes left, and usually on Zoom, you get,
is it because you're recording?
Maybe. I
We could
wonder
just
if
do
I
another
stop.
one.
Yeah, we'll just do that if we need to, and I can piece them
Yeah.
together.
Okay.
But
What if in 1 year from now, like
yeah,
how
what
much would
if
it
how
cost?
much it would cost you if you're in the same place you are today 1 year from now? What are your, like
Yeah.
kind of identify what their expenses are? How many unfocused programs are they just paying for just because they are like fear of loss into
Right.
purchasing, even if it's a $35 solution, but then they never even open it and read it, you know,
Right.
like
Right.
think about the habits that someone's having these issues that your clients have. What are their habits? What are they, and where are they spending their money looking for easy fixes? And then,
Right.
but if they participate in your program and then in a year from now they're better, the difference in that investment.
Right.
And
Right.
so then
No, I
in
love
that,
that.
you talk about kind of like, okay, well, with me, for an investment between, maybe you give them a range if you're not comfortable of just like saying what the investment is. But I think
Right.
people really like the transparency of knowing,
Having an idea. Yeah.
yeah, what am I, because I don't want to spend time talking to somebody that I can't even afford.
Right.
And then I feel
Right.
bad saying no, but I can't afford you. I'm not going to
Yeah.
even move. We're not going to move forward. Right.
Right.
And then
Totally.
it's a lose-lose because you're not getting my business, but also now I'm left going, I can't afford the solution I really need.
Right. Yeah. Totally.
So I feel like that's kind of part of the niching down process. Like
Sure.
I've talked about it on some of the calls, about niching down and getting real specific. But part of that is also like knowing that you're talking to somebody who can afford you. And if
Right.
and if they can afford you, there's should be no fear in talking about your price.
Right. Exactly.
And so
Exactly.
being firm in that was the other thing that having a CRM really helped me with, because I was able to put all my rates in. And instead of like just coming up with a price after the call, after I've gotten an emotional attachment, because now we've had a face to face.
Right.
And now I'm like, oh, I feel bad. Like they made it sound like they can only afford da 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 da. Well, now I'm like, no, these are my
Right.
rates,
Yeah.
and I've gone up since I started using it. I've increased my
Yeah.
rates significantly time after time because of the confidence that I now have in my rates. Because
Right.
if you don't give them a chance to say no, most of them aren't saying no. I
Right.
like, I'm like, this is what it costs to work with me. They
Period.
just click it and sign the
Yeah.
contract and pay the invoice. It's just done.
That's cool. That's very cool.
And so it really gave me that confidence in rates.
Yes.
Um, but you can do the same thing. That's just a mindset. You can do the
Yes.
same thing where you can say, this is my
Yeah.
rate. It doesn't shift. And I'm proud of the rate that I get paid.
Right.
And I'm not afraid to
Right.
tell anybody. It's not a
Yes.
competition. That's the other thing. Some people are like, oh, you don't want your competitors to know what your program costs.
Yeah.
There's a,
It's not.
no, it's not about who's going to pay them. It's about who's going to pay you.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. Love that. Love that.
So
Yeah.
maybe those things will help you book those calls more.
Yes.
If you can
I
shift
appreciate that.
just shift a couple things in
Yes.
your approach. And
Exactly. No, that's very
definitely
helpful.
be intentional about weaving those posts together, using that
Yeah.
80-20 rule. I think it's really important to like
Yes.
make sure you're selling 20% of the time. Like
Right.
whether it's asking them to download your freebie so that you're growing your email list, you got to
Yeah.
think. And if you're not sure, like, okay, well, what's categorized as educational versus what's categorized as a sale? If there's an exchange of anything,
It's
email
a sale.
addresses, it's a sale. Yeah. Or
Yeah.
money, it's a sale.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Good
So,
to know.
I think other CTAs like click like or comment below, those are just
Right.
CTAs to generate interaction and
Right.
exposure.
Yes.
And those are very helpful, but the ones that we're really concerned about are the CTAs on the sales.
Sure. Yep.
But
Cool.
you're priming your audience, right, with the other CTAs. So if they're doing what you're asking them to do on the non-sale posts, then maybe they're going to follow suit and do what you ask them to do on the sales post.
True. Yes. Okay. I love that. Yeah. I've never done the freebie thing either. Like, I don't know. I
Oh,
just don't
you
even
should
know.
at least try it because you
I
can
know.
easily get into AI and say, I want to build a freebie for my business. I want it to be a one-page PDF download. And these are the, things that I think it should cover. But
Right.
you know how they say, like, give all your stuff away, give it all
Yeah.
away. Like,
I
what's
know.
one page worth of free stuff?
True.
Whether it's a
Yeah.
worksheet or maybe you give them a sample meal plan.
Right. Yes.
But it's specific for, one type of issue that you solve,
Yeah.
and it's
No, that's
only
really
like
good.
maybe a 3-day meal plan instead of the 7-day meal plan.
Right.
And then they're going
Right.
to want the 7-day, and then you have it
Yeah.
available. I mean,
Right.
sell your 7-day meal plan as another form of revenue generation.
Sure. Very cool. Oh, thank you. I've wrote a lot down.
Okay. I hope
Yeah.
that was helpful.
Is so helpful. So tell me more about, yeah, you tell me more about your program.
Okay. Let's go ahead and stop since this is a good stopping point
Yes.
between
Great.
subjects and we'll restart. So,
Do you think
I
like
don't know if
same
we can
meeting?
just use the same one. If not, I'll message you a link
Okay.
in LinkedIn.
Great.
Does that sound good? Okay.
Perfect.
Thanks.
Thank you.